I'm Audrey Hansen,
And I'm McKenna Tierney.
and this is our presentation on the history of life in and around the Lake Mead, Boulder City, Nevada area. Early exploration of the Columbia Basin area found that in what is now Las Vegas, Nevada, to be an adverse landscape that should not be settled due to difficult travel, rocky terrain, and an unpredictable source of water. The construction of the Hoover Dam that led to the formation of Lake Mead in Boulder City, Nevada, was an intricate project to redirect water into the arid desert area, leading this to be the perceived first large-scale introduction of water in the valley. However, the areas in and around the recreation site hold a fossil record that provide an insight into the various early water bodies that were once prominent in the region. In this project, we will use the fossils found within the Lake Mead area to reconstruct what water landscapes in the southwest Nevada used to exist there. During the Cambrian period, 540 to 485 million years ago, Lake Mead and most of the southern Nevada area was covered by a shallow tropical sea. The sea was full of organisms such as trilobites and reefs built by now extinct organisms known as archaeophytes. Trilobites were small carnivorous ocean creatures that lived on the ocean floor and were mainly prominent in the Middle and Late Cambrian eras. Archaeophytes are a type of sea sponge that greatly aided in the construction of the first reefs. They are very important as reefs supported a wide variety of organisms, and they were extremely prominent in their numbers at the time of their existence, but they went extinct by the Middle Cambrian periods around 10 to 15 million years after they first appeared. The Devonian period is the next period in our timeline. This was from 420 to 355 million years ago. Southern Nevada was still covered in a warm, shallow sea, and many of the fossils at the time were small marine creatures or carnivorous fish. Some of these creatures include an early starfish, which can be seen in our top right here, and there was that starfish was known as a protasteride, which is found in late Devonian Devil's Gate Formation in Eureka County. A colonial dwelling coral, Cladopora dispilum, found in the late Devonian Sultan Formation, and a fish, Tineru claque, which is related to tetrapods, which was found in the Devonian Red Hill Lake beds in Eureka County.
The Carboniferous period is distinguished by two separate epochs, the Mississippian and the Pennsylvanian, which start from 355 to 300 million years ago. In southern Nevada, there are rocks that have been dated within both of these epochs, which can be seen in the map to the left. The fossils that are found here are brachiopods, which are pictured on the top right-hand side, encased in chert. Echinoderms, which are things like our starfishes and sea urchins, are found here as well. The bottom right image pictures the spines of a sea urchin. Other organisms that are preserved from this time are sponges and bryozoans. All of these fossils show us that there was still a warm, shallow sea present during this period. Which was around 300 to 250 million years ago, we still see evidence of our brachiopods and our corals. Our brachiopods are pictured on the very bottom. The corals, specifically the rugose coral, are great indicators for recording sea level fluctuations in their growth patterns, which can be pictured on the right-hand side. Trace fossils from early reptiles are found recorded in sandstone, pictured on the left-hand side. This supports that the sea level was inconsistent and was rising and falling throughout this period.
The Triassic period, which was 250 to 202 million years ago, was a major turning point in marine life as many species began to adapt and change. Abundant brachiopods that roamed the seafloors were replaced by different species of burrowing gastropods. Ammonoids, which are a close relative to the modern-day octopus, were one of the species that underwent diverse changes as well. The most special species of this time is the ichthyosaur Shawnosaurus, which is a large carnivorous fish that fed on the ammonoids in the area. The Shawnosaurus is thought to have lacked dorsal fins and was over 15 meters long, and it is also the state fossil of Nevada.
The Cretaceous period is from 202 to 70 million years ago. Throughout the Jurassic and into the middle of the Cretaceous, there is evidence that a warm, shallow sea remained, but now there is more of a developed terrestrial landscape. The most notable fossil from the Jurassic period found near Lake Mead are trace fossils from dinosaurs that are encased in sandstone, pictured on the left-hand side in the middle. Once we enter the Cretaceous, we begin to see more fossil evidence of plants. Pictured on the top left-hand side is the imprint of a leaf. At the very end of the Cretaceous is when the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event begins and drastic environmental changes happen. For most of these two periods, the climate was relatively warm and even began to increase in temperature. However, once the extinction event occurs, the climate began to rapidly cool and the sea level begins to recede.
The Tertiary period, which was 70 to 3 million years ago, was the beginning of the recovery period from the mass extinction event. There was a distinct sudden lack of water, so animals began to adapt. Many fossils and frogs have been found in shale outcrops from the Miocene, which was a late part of the Tertiary period, pictured on the top. There were still fish around, but they began to noticeably shrink in size, becoming very small as there was a lack of food. A very interesting mammal at the time was the camelop, which is the ancestor of modern camels, llamas, and alpacas, and they were the original camels in North America. They are part of the subspecies of megafauna. The Pleistocene, which was 3 to 1 million years ago, was the last major notable glacial or ice age period of recent history. It was mostly dominated by many large land mammals as there was not much ocean for marine creatures to thrive in. The Columbian mammoth, which was the largest land mammal in the area at the time, and it stood roughly at 4.3 meters or 14 feet tall, and it was a prominent herbivore. There were also large cats, such as the American lion, which was an apex predator of the time. Giant ground sloths were another large mammal at the time, although they are the smallest of the ground sloths found across North America. Their spine bones can be seen on the left, and they were known to dig large caves that have been found around the southern Nevada area. The early Holocene epoch, which was anything less than a million years ago, was when humans started to truly and seriously make a lasting and notable impact on the land. When humans started farming and developing new technologies, they began leaving prominent traces behind. Early evidence of tools, pottery, and petroglyphs, and other forms of communications have been found in the southern Nevada area from the tribes that lived there, although many of these artifacts may have been destroyed or lost in the construction of Hoover Dam. These early tribes survived and thrived off of small springs located in the area, the first small-scale human-dominated water sources in the area.
Now the Quaternary Holocene within the past century. The water that is there today is a result of man-made influence. The Hoover Dam was constructed in this area due to a high demand for a water source to provide for the population that expanded to the west. The construction of the dam is pictured on the top left. Due to the construction of the Hoover Dam, it is unknown how many fossils may have been lost. The completion of the Hoover Dam resulted in the reservoir known as Lake Mead, which is pictured in the image on the top right. Since the completion of the dam in 1935, the water level of Lake Mead has been consistently fluctuating with a trend of lowering each year. The bottom left image captures the water level of Lake Mead in 1941. The image to the right of that shows where the water level resides in the most recent years. The conclusion of our project is that for about 400 million years, the southern Nevada area experienced a shallow ocean that receded and preceded for multiple periods. In the early Quaternary, from the Pleistocene to early Holocene, there are a handful of springs in the area that were used by early tribes. Within the past century, the high demand for water has resulted in a major human influence on the landscape. Today, as water levels continue to drop, there may no longer be any water for human use. Whether the water is formed from natural geologic processes or by human influence, the water in this region has run its course.
Here are our references. Thanks for watching!
Thank you!